Good morning, free thinkers across the world. It's a beautiful morning. It's Monday morning, and for once the sun is out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It augurs well for a decent day. Now today, eventually, I want to talk about habits. Good habits and bad habits. But before that, I get quite a few comments out of people saying I would love to live a kind of slower, quieter, more peaceful lifestyle, but I don't think I could live with the austerity. I don't think I could financially afford to do it, to isolate myself. I don't think this and I don't think that. And basically, you are putting up hurdles and barriers because none of that makes any difference at all. You don't really have to change anything. You're just slowing down a bit. You're keeping the life you've got. Okay, you may be giving up a couple of things. Give up a couple of luxuries, give up a couple of things that you find aren't quite necessary, that are cluttering up your day, cluttering up your time, cluttering up your mind. And that's all there is to it. It's not difficult, but it is worth it. I can tell you in the long run, it is worth it. With a less cluttered mind, your mind is then open to appreciate everything around you, every sound and every smell and every sight and every sensation. And that's what it's all about. It's not difficult. But let's talk about habits, because I think habits get a bad press. Habits. When we talk about habits, we only seem to talk about bad habits. We never talk about good habits. And what is a bad habit anyway? Habits such as like spitting in the street and things like that, I suppose you can consider bad. I would. But I don't think many of us get up to those kind of tricks and that kind of behaviour. So, a habit. Why call it a bad habit? What is it? It's just something you do in your own private life. A habit is probably there to kind of reinforce positivity or to fill a gap or something. And people think, oh, I want to live a slower, simpler, more peaceful life. Automatically thinking, then I have to live a more disciplined life, a more austere life. And no, you don't. And you might think, I need to get on top of my bad habit. I need to get rid of these bad habits. No, why? They don't. If it's not affecting anybody else, if it's internally in your life and it's not doing you any harm, then that's absolutely fine. And living a slow and peaceful life is nothing about changing things in your life. Okay, it may be about getting rid of a few things, but most of these things we are talking about are material things that you don't really need anyway. I remember moving, when I moved out onto my narrowboat, I moved from a house onto my narrowboat, and obviously there was nowhere near as much room. So I had to throw tons of stuff away. That feeling was like a weight off my shoulders. It was a cathartic exercise. It was wonderful and I felt better for it. And I think that's all we're talking about when we're talking about living a free and peaceful life. It's just getting rid of the things you don't need, not replacing those things. Bit of discipline there in the spending front, but that is only temporary because it soon, very soon, becomes a way of life and natural and normal. Clearing our minds so that isn't full of junk. Have you noticed with a common denominator throughout all this is getting rid of rubbish? Getting rid of material rubbish and not replacing it. Getting rid of rubbish mentally and not replacing it. And slowing down. Slowing down. That's the difficult part, I think. The slowing down. Because it's a case of slowing down mentally, slowing down emotionally, and actually slowing down physically. Eventually, not getting worked up over things that you might have got worked up over before, letting things just drift by you. it's so much better for you. There's so much angst in the world. There are so many people going round shouting at each other, shouting at themselves, beating themselves up, forming opinions that they get really, really, really wound up about and will fight to the dying breath about things that aren't important and don't impact on them. Social media tells you what's important, so you form an opinion on that and you will fight your fellow man over that. And we see this every day, day in, day out on social media. And that's what slow living is about. Nothing to do with austerity. I think a lot of people, obviously, when they come towards this kind of a lifestyle, you're watching the YouTube videos, and there are lots, and I come across more every day, of people living the slow life. And they're all exactly the same. The cottages in the country where they're making herbal tea, where they're making currant buns in a bowl, cinnamon buns, wearing flowery Laura Ashley dresses, even the men. And it's kind of, nobody lives like that. That's just for YouTube. I'm convinced, I mean, if people do live like that, they're absolutely fabulous and more power to you. I mean, the only one I watch anything of is Poetry of Still Life with Daria. I think she's Polish or something like that. I quite like her because she's a bit more down to earth. But I think people see this life, see this absolutely unattainable lifestyle, because it is. It's not attainable. You can't do this and go working in the office or down the pit or in the mill or on the farm and keep this lifestyle going. And I think these creators are actually putting people off. They're the ones who are creating the hurdles by not making it attainable. By making it, and it's as if they're doing it on purpose to keep their special little uniqueness, singularity, their little niche to themselves and their like-minded spirits. But it's not difficult. It's easy. I've done it. It's just a case of slowing things down, slowing your mind down, getting rid of clutter. And once you've got rid of that clutter, not taking more clutter in. And it may seem a bit difficult to begin with, but you soon get there. And I think it's just so much better for your mental health. I mean, I've got health problems that I think that if I didn't live this kind of lifestyle, I would be further down the road now. I might not even be here. I mean, I've got chronic heart failure. And yes, I think most of us could agree that if you live this kind of gentle, slow lifestyle with less stress, then you're going to put less stress on your heart. And I do think that works for me. And if it works for me, it'll even work for you, whether you've got a healthy heart, a bad heart, or whatever. You know, there's no downside to this lifestyle. Your chances are you'll be slightly financially better off, or a lot financially better off. Your mind will be in a better place. Your health will be in a better place, because I advocate for eating healthy, and I think that kind of comes with it. Once you kind of take on this lifestyle, then other things kind of naturally fall into place. If you're doing this, that and the other, then eating processed crap isn't going to work. It's going to be so out of place in your life that there's no place for it. So I've got good habits and I've got bad habits like the rest of us, but I'm not going to take any great steps to change those because they don't affect anybody else. They don't affect me, they're habits. And a habit is something that more or less comes naturally, and they come naturally, and they don't impact on my day. I can't even think what they are, but I must have habits, because we've all got habits, and they are neither good nor bad. So don't try to change your personality. Just change the things you actually need to change and do it gradually. Don't try and jump into a different kind of lifestyle all at once, because that's not going to work, because it's going to be a shock to the system. You're not living a different life. You're just living the same life with a few tweaks. There's no magic formula to it, even if a lot of content creators would have you think there is. They're just creating an image, a film, something pleasant to watch with a cup of coffee, something to aspire to, but make it just that little bit too unattainable. But it's fiction. It's all fiction. It may be pleasant to watch, it may be irritating, but it's fiction, because life is here. This is life. And the rest of it is just a shop window. It's all bollocks. This is life, without a breath of wind. Just me and my dog, walking very slowly through woodland. And I know that most people can't do this, because most people aren't really old and decrepit like I am, and retired, so I've got the time. But that doesn't mean you can't live a peaceful, quiet, gentle, stress-free life. Just takes a little bit of thought and a little bit of work and a little bit of perseverance, and you will get there, eventually. This is nice. It's so green. It's the first sunny day we've had for weeks, it feels like. It just feels like it's rained continuously. But no, it's not. No, it's still. And it's warm. And it's green. The trees above me, a great big canopy of green. It's fabulous. We're going to find a quiet spot and just sit for a while and take it all in. Because I don't want to be indoors on a day like today. I want to be outside. Molly wants to be outside. We've nothing planned. If I go home and do nothing, I will feel like I've wasted the day. If I stay out here with all this, I will feel like I've spent the day well. So we shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.